Hi, I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Jess. And this is Financial Progress.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. Before we begin, just want to say that this is a conversation between friends. This is not financial advice. Please seek the help of a financial advisor before making any financial decisions.
That's right. So Chrissy, though, I want to share a story that came from Reddit. And I just want to hear your thoughts on it. All right, you ready?
Oh,
Be prepared.
yes.
This came from Reddit where it says AITAH with a question mark, and that means, am I the asshole? Yes. So the title is Husband Accused Me of Financial Infidelity. Ooh, okay. So it says husband and wife, 33, have been married for 10 years. Since starting out, we have made financial security a priority and have been able to achieve that with some good luck along the way. They both have good paying jobs, getting paid $200K each. Student loans were paid off within a few years. They both went to state schools and received scholarships, so they didn't have no debt. Good for them. It says, we live in a house I inherited from my grandmother, no mortgage, and we maxed out our 401ks and currently have 18 months of expenses in our emergency fund and are still adding to it. Our cars are both paid off and should be good for another 5+ years, and we don't have any credit card debt. We
I was going to say,
we
it sounds
manage.
amazing.
Yeah, it does, right? It's
Yes.
like really good. Oh my God. So it says we manage our finances in a hybrid manner, joint accounts for bills and savings and separate accounts for our fun money. We each get a pretty generous monthly allotment. The fun money is strictly for our individual expenses like hobbies, clothes, outings with friends, etc., and not for things like date nights, vacations, or larger joint purchases like household appliances and repairs, which come out of our joint account. We also agree that if either of us gets any bonuses or has any side hustle income, those will go into our individual fun money accounts, unless the funds are needed for a larger expense, such as a major home repair. So, in terms of the fun money, my husband is much more of a spendier than I am due to expensive hobbies, in particular, golf and collecting sports memorabilia. And he's also more into designer clothes, which is fine. It's his money. On the other hand, my hobbies are a lot less expensive: running, working out, reading, baking. In general, I'm more introverted, and a great time for me is tea with a friend at one of our homes with homemade pastries. I have also been getting back into gaming lately after setting it aside for much of the past decade while building my career. After realizing I had more than enough in my fun money account, I decided to overhaul my gaming setup and got myself a new PC, a desk, and a gaming chair, and the total cost was about $5,000. However, upon hearing about the purchase, my husband is furious. He says he had no idea I had saved so much money and that I should have consulted him before spending $5K. I asked what difference it made if it was my own accrued fund money and not our joint funds, and he insisted that my accumulating this amount without telling him was a form of financial infidelity. So he says he lost trust in me and doesn't know what else I might be hiding. He is demanding that I return the items I purchased and deposit most of the funds to our joint account. He wants to make a new rule that fund money accounts can't accumulate more than $2,000 and that any excess goes back to the joint account. A rule that would obviously favor him as a person who spends most of his allotment each month instead of saving up for anything bigger. I feel like I am being punished for being more of a day-to-day saver than spender. It wouldn't occur to me to demand to know how much my husband has in his fund money account or to try to micromanage what he spends it on. I wasn't hiding anything deliberately. He never asked about it until after I made the purchases. Still, maybe I should have been more transparent about my plans. So am I the asshole?
Whoa. Wow. I would say
Wow.
that story started out sounding great. Like, sound like they really
Yes.
got their shit together. Like, everything's going very smooth. I don't know all the details of everything.
Yes.
I would say that no, she is not an asshole. And two, I don't think she did anything wrong except for what she admitted which was maybe just talked about it or discussed it ahead of
Mhm.
time. But I don't think she did anything wrong. Like, that was her money that was agreed upon between both of them, that they would have their
Mhm.
separate accounts for fun money. And as long as she wasn't dipping into the joint account for any of the purchase, I don't feel like she did anything wrong. So what do
Right.
you feel? What are your
Oh
thoughts on that?
man. I thought, like you said, like when I was reading it, I was just like, oh my God, they got their stuff
Mm-hmm.
together. Like they know what they're doing. And I love the idea of them having their individual fun savings account because I think everybody needs that for yourselves, especially if you want to do like a girls' trip or a guys' trip. You're saving that money. So I thought like everything was great until he was upset that she is a saver and this is what she wants to spend her money on. I don't know.
I don't even feel like it needs to be a discussion maybe on what they're spending their money on, but just a
Right.
discussion like, hey, I saved all this money. I'm going to go buy this for
This is what
myself.
I'm going to
Like,
do with it. Yeah.
and I, I don't think it's even a discussion. It's just like maybe giving that person a heads up, like, hey, I'm going to use this
Yeah.
space here to put my game system that I'm been saving up for. And just a
Yeah.
heads up. I think it's just the only thing that I was hearing that she recognized as well that she probably should have been upfront about is just communication, right? I think
Mhm.
having that conversation ahead of time probably wouldn't have turned into as big of argument as it turned out to be if they had that
Yeah.
conversation ahead of time. So that's
I
all
don't
I feel
know.
like. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he has the right to be upset and to put caps on her amount of savings. Like, I don't feel like
No.
that's a good approach. And it makes me wonder, like, if there's
It,
something else to the story. And
yeah.
yeah,
He sounds very controlling.
yes,
Very
yes.
controlling.
And if they discuss these amounts ahead of time and they're putting it to the savings account to spend
Mhm.
freely like they want, why does hers need to be capped when his isn't? So
Yeah.
he's spending his money more frequently, but why isn't his capped? Why does
Mhm.
hers need to be capped? So that
He's spending
just,
his full amount each month.
yes,
She's saving hers. Yeah, there's no this is nowhere financial infidelity.
yes. I do not feel like this is financial infidelity. But speaking of financial infidelity, what is financial infidelity, Jess?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yes,
So that's what our topic is going to be about today. Financial infidelity. It's when one partner hides financial information or engages in secret spending, and it can happen in so many ways.
exactly. So some examples include secret bank accounts, undisclosed debts,
Mhm.
or even just making big purchases without telling your partner. So, like signing up for maybe a credit card on the side and not telling your partner, that can be considered financial infidelity. Or if you have like your paycheck going into a bank account that your partner doesn't know about, that can be considered financial infidelity. So, in this case, they knew about the bank accounts and they agreed
Exactly.
on the amounts. So, I don't see this as financial infidelity at
No,
all.
it was not secret at
Yes,
all.
yes. The
Um,
only thing I can tell from this is just communication. I think just communicating and having a discussion about it would have been helpful ahead of time. But seeing or hearing about how angry he was just makes me feel like there's more to the story.
mhm. You're talking about more of like discussion of this is what I'm purchasing, but not
Not
permission because
permission.
it's
That
her
was
money.
discussed ahead of time. Like,
Yeah,
this
it
is,
was, yeah.
yes.
This is my money. This is what I'm allowed to do with it. And yeah.
Yeah. So just,
So,
yeah, just giving a heads up, like, hey, I've been saving up for it. I'm putting
mhm,
it here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
maybe it's
Imagine though if she did that and he's like, no, you can't do that. Would've like,
that's a whole
no.
another issue because yeah, she earned that. She saved up for it
Mm,
and yeah, she didn't do anything wrong in that aspect
no.
of spending that money. That was her money
Mhm.
to spend. They agreed upon it ahead of time. You can't change the rules because you did something differently. Like that's just not fair. That's to me that's
No,
not
no.
fair.
I agree 100%. Sadly, this is surprisingly common, financial infidelity. So, studies suggest that a significant number of couples have experienced some form of financial infidelity, and it's often overlooked until it leads to bigger issues.
That's so true. So the emotional implications can be severe. So just like romantic infidelity, financial infidelity can lead to feelings of betrayal and trust issues.
And crazy, I read that like 12% of people feel that this is worse than romantic infidelity. Crazy,
That
right?
is, yes, that's crazy. Yes.
It can create a lot of anxiety. Imagine finding out your partner has been hiding thousands of dollars in debt or has been making significant purchases without telling you.
Yes, that would be a tough pill to swallow.
Mm.
And it's interesting because the emotional fallout can mirror that, like you said, of a romantic betrayal,
Mhm.
even though it's about money. Like it's just very interesting. It's amazing how these experiences can impact a relationship and often lead into a breakdown of trust.
So, what can couples do to prevent this kind of betrayal? Open communication is key. Regular financial check-ins can help ensure both partners are on the same page. And kind of like in my personal marriage, we make sure that we still kind of have like this budget meeting. We don't do it as often as we used to. It used to be like monthly. Now we do it when something significant changes, like financial, if there's like an increase in income or a decrease in income if somebody has lost something, or if we have like big purchases coming up. So we make sure that we still have our check-ins and make sure that our goals are the same.
Yes. And every couple can create their own rules. If they want to say, you know, let's discuss any purchases over a certain amount, which is how we do it in our household. We say anything over $100 needs to have a discussion first. And that doesn't necessarily mean permission, it's just discussion. Like, let's discuss
Hmm.
this and let's figure out a way to make it happen. If it can't be this month, let's do it next month. We try not to deny what the person wants. We try to make sure that we can make it happen and just figure out a way to make it happen. And it's also about creating a space where both partners feel comfortable discussing finances without that fear of judgment.
Hmm. You want it to be, make sure that you're comfortable having these conversations in your home so that there's no future issues, right?
Yes,
And if things do get complicated, seeking help from a financial advisor or couples counselor can provide the support needed to work through these issues.
definitely. And there's no shame in reaching out for help when finances become
Mhm.
a point of frustration.
And sometimes, if you have a bestie,
Mhm.
you can always reach out to them too, just to make sure that we're
Yes.
we're on the same page.
Yes.
Is this working? It helps. I'm telling you, it's accountability. It helps so much.
Yes.
So to wrap up, financial infidelity can have deep emotional implications, but with open communication and trust, couples can navigate these waters more smoothly.
Yes. And we'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced financial fidelity or do you have tips on how to maintain financial transparency in relationships?
Yeah, be sure to drop us a message on social media or leave a comment. And thanks again for tuning in.
Yes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Join us next time. See ya.
Bye.